Lothan Cousins, as I wrap, that of all the things I've heard from the PNP on the campaign so far, I'm most excited by the housing revolution plan. I'm intrigued by it, even though I still believe that the housing, the unit, the target you've set yourself is highly ambitious, perhaps overly ambitious. But guess what? It's still a target to aim at. And I wish you all the best as you work to get yourself and your party in the position to pursue this plan.
Thank you, George. Just so you can aim for the stars, then you will fall on the clouds.
I hear you, my brother. Thank you very much for your time. All the best to you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Lothan Cousins, the Member of Parliament for Southwest Clarendon, attorney at law, and the shadow spokesman on land. That's the story for this Wednesday. I make way for Nika Lewis with the news at 7.
For joining us for CVM News Afternoon. It's Thursday, June 26th. I am Curlin Brown. 2 people are dead following a gun attack in Miami Bay, CVM News understands a taxi driver operating a grey Probox motor car was traveling from Ocho Rios to St. Anne's Bay with 3 men aboard. The routine trip, however, turned deadly when the taxi came to a stop along the highway and 2 of the passengers alighted and brandished firearms, opening fire on the driver and the male passenger. The gunmen then fled the scene in a waiting motor car. The police are continuing their investigations, hoping to get the cooperation of potential witnesses. CVM News will continue to follow that developing story. And a murder in the usually quiet community of Crowder in Westmoreland has sparked concerns of a possible reprisal killing. The police, in the meantime, have launched an investigation into Wednesday night's deadly shooting. 35-year-old Kirk Thomas, otherwise called Kirk, was gunned down shortly after 9 p.m. Reports are Thomas was standing along a section of the roadway in his community when 2 men on a motorcycle approached, brandished handguns and opened fire, hitting him multiple times before speeding away. The police who were summoned rushed Thomas to the Savannah Lamar Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Investigators have confirmed Thomas is the brother of a man who was taken into police custody earlier this year for a murder also committed in the community. It's alleged Thomas's killing may have been an act of reprisal stemming from that incident. The police are urging anyone with information to come forward. Toward the news now, as the Jamaica Labour Party, the JLP, shores up support in marginal seats across the island, the focus has also intensified on a strategic offensive led by Deputy Leader Desmond McKenzie. The JLP's campaign is targeting constituencies traditionally held by the People's National Party, the PNP, within Area Council 1, which encompasses the critical St. Andrew constituencies. The party was in St. Andrew Western on Sunday, introducing a new candidate. Andre Jebinson reports.
The Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, is setting its sights on St. Andrew Western, a constituency that has been a stronghold for the People's National Party, PNP, for numerous election cycles. The current Member of Parliament is Anthony Hilton. Corey Dunkley, a 31-year-old attorney at law, believes he can unseat Hilton when the constituents go to the polls later this year.
Everyone here can see what has been happening in the constituency and knows the shortcomings, the misrepresentation, and the downright laziness of the guy that is there right now.
Hilton's tenure in St. Andrew Western began in 1993, the same year Dunkley was born. Dunkley observed that, in his view, not much has changed in the constituency since, but he acknowledged the challenge ahead.
We are on the verge of history. History for the party, history for the constituency, history for Jamaica.
History we making out. History we making out here. Above yourself, dry your face for the pain.
Don't make anybody discourage you and tell you that you shouldn't choose progress. You shouldn't choose prosperity. And you shouldn't want better for your country.
Dunkley's foray into politics, though recent, has already garnered attention. Earlier this year, he sought to represent Clarendon Northwestern, where he has family ties. However, Warren Newby prevailed in the selection process.
It was very often for people to characterize the JLP as fractious and divisive. And in particular, when you have selections. My presence here today is to assure you that there was no division between me and Corey Dunkley.
Senator Marlon Morgan commended Dunkley for sticking around, albeit far from where he first had intentions to run.
Because you have some people labor rights. If things don't quite work out in the way they want it to work out, then get vexed, then pick up them marbles, them turn them back on the team, and them try to tear down. But Corey is distinguishing himself as a good and firm team player, and we big him up every time.
Hilton's electoral victories in St. Andrew Western have been consistent. In the 2020 election, Hilton won by a margin of 1,523 votes. The margin was down from 3,160 in 2016, 5,150 in 2011, and 2,999 in 2007. Andre Jebinson, CVM News.
Opposition leader Mark Golding says investing in the labor force is crucial for boosting productivity and driving economic expansion. He was speaking at the St. Andrew Eastern campaign rally.
We have a stagnant economy. Right now, nothing going on in Jamaica. When I ask people in the real sector, them tell me the sales are down. When I talk to officials in the government, they say tax revenue is down. We're in a slump. This government doesn't know how to grow the economy because this government doesn't realize that the key to it is to build the human capital and to ensure that the bureaucracy works for the people. Foreign direct investment in the country is about a third of where it was when we were last in government. The productivity of the country has fallen. If you look at the total output, national output, divided by the number of workers, that number has been coming down. That means less productive.
St. Ann Northwestern Member of Parliament Crystal Lee took aim at the People's National Party, accusing the PNP of overseeing nearly a decade of decline in the constituency and failing to deliver real results for residents. She was speaking at the St. Ann Northwest JLP conference.
From there to over to 2020, look at the devastation. Pothole riddled road network, poor water infrastructure, a constituency that was mashed up. The poor councillors at the time were struggling to do whatever they could do with the little that they got. Now look at how we have transformed this constituency, and they pretend that they're not seen. But guess what? You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
Making the case of a third term, multiple JLP members voiced concerns over what they call years of stagnation and deterioration under PNP's leadership. The Labourites were in St. Ann Northwest for the second time in as many weeks, trying to ignite support for incumbent Crystal Lee.
But they don't tell the people that there was chronic disinvestment in our infrastructure for the entire 22.5 years that they were at the wheel. They don't tell you that they bankrupted the NWC and ran it off a cliff. They don't tell you that they bankrupted the economy with things like FinSac and had no money to invest in roads. They don't tell you that they left the pipes to rot when they needed to be changed. They don't tell you that they left every community tank to rot till the bottom was dropping out. They don't tell you that they used to do campaign gimmicks where they lay a pipe on the side of the road and tell them coming back right after election, except when them come back, the pipe them gone.
Amid criticism of the opposition, MP Crystal Lee also said there have been major strides in the development of the health sector in the constituency. She announced that ground will be broken in Brownstown in the parish for a new state-of-the-art health centre. It will come with a $100 million price tag.
When we talk about development, we're not just talking about road and water. Look at our health system. When I come into this constituency, let me tell you, no upgrade for the clinics. Right now, if you go to Bamboo, they are getting a brand new health center. This week, Friday, the Minister of Health is coming, and when they thought that the brand new temporary health center down right here so across from us was the health center for Brownstown, I keep telling them that yes, it look good, yes, services have been improved. That is how we, the Jamaica Labour Party, our government, believe we should serve our people. But the people became more shocked when I said to them, there is something else coming. This Friday, we are going to be breaking ground for the new state-of-the-art health center right here in Brownstown to the tune of $800 million. Shortly after that, 2 weeks or so, work is going to begin. So of course, we're going to work with the contractor to ensure that people are employed within the space and they use as many laborers as possible here from St. Ann Northwest.
News at noon will continue in just a moment.
Every day starts with care. Care that's always close. Supermed Family of Pharmacies is where you go for everything you need. From your morning routine to life's biggest moments. Supermed Family of Pharmacies is always by your side. Whether it's prescriptions or household essentials, trust the care that's close to home. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed.
In a world where innovation meets tradition, agriculture is evolving like never before. From the latest sustainable farming technologies to age-old practices passed down through generation, agriculture is
precious to me.
I love the animals. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I love working.
Join us right here on CVM TV every Sunday during news at 7 as we explore the people, the science, and the breakthroughs that are shaping the way we grow, eat, and live. You don't want to miss it. This is Farming Forward.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV.
Thanks for staying with us. Residents of Portmore will soon enjoy improved traffic flow and safer roads as the government officially broke ground for the reconstruction of the Nagohead to Brayton Road, which leads to Helshaw. Here's more from Carlo Ramdeen.
According
According to the Member of Parliament for North Central Clarendon, Robert Nesta Morgan, the $2.4 billion project is part of the government's plan to improve quality of life and mobility for Jamaicans, particularly in rapid-growing areas like Portmore.
He says this is part of integrated infrastructure. As you know, you have been pushing that we don't just do roads, but it also includes water line as well. Here already. We've been doing sidewalks, adequate sidewalk, as well as fiber optic ducts for fiber cable as part of the National Broadband Initiative. The project actually runs for approximately 3 kilometers from Naggerhead. We will be improving a continuation of the road from Bayside to Naggerhead. We'll be taking it from there, coming towards right at this intersection here, which is Brayton and Helshaw Road, going up Helshaw Road all the way to the final turnoff into Greater Portmore. And I think this is called Southeast Street going inside there. It will be 4-lane roadway with raised median so that the divided 4-lane movement for safety reasons. In addition to that, we will be improving the intersection. We'll be putting traffic signals at the relevant locations. It's part of the whole process as well. The traffic management is something we have spent a lot of time looking at. It's going to be a little bit difficult. However, what we plan to do is to do some improvement to Brick Parkway, and that's of course the Naggerhead Extension Road here, so that the traffic, when we begin to do the drainage works that will require us to partly close the road by Naggerhead, the traffic will be able to move through a systematic way both morning and evening to come through that particular section, widen a part of Brayton Parkway to get the traffic around.
The mayor of Spanish Town explained that the project will benefit most of the Southeast residents as they have suffered heavily from traffic jams.
With this project continuing, we should see severe improvement along the corridor of the Naggerhead to Helshaw Main Road.
With the ongoing developments, the Prime Minister still said there are plans to develop Portmore into the 15th parish.
Regardless of the political issues, on a practical point of view, Portmore inevitably will become its parish. The truth is that Portmore its economy could literally exceed the economy of St. Catherine.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Now, starting next year, grade 6 students will face changes in their primary exit profile, PEP, as the Ministry of Education will include numeracy and literacy assessments. Now, the announcement was made by Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon during the PEP press conference held recently. She explained that while the grade 6 exam already assesses students' mastery of language arts, it does not offer a direct measure of literacy. This new assessment is aimed at providing more accurate data of students' reading and mathematical skills. Opposition spokesperson on land, Lothan Cousins, expresses strong confidence in the People's National Party's PNP capacity to deliver on its promise of constructing 80,000 houses over the next 5 years, should the PNP form the next government. He was speaking on CVM's lead story.
One word, efficiency. Sometimes you may have an organization that is not performing because it is inefficient. We are saying that with the proper leadership, the proper guidance, I have a background in law, sports, construction. I know that we have what it takes to get it done. We have done it before. It's 16,000 units per year, broken down across the country. That is 1,000 units per parish. That's as simple as it is, you know. It might seem like a lot, but that's 1,000 houses per parish. You're telling me that in a modern dispensation, modern Jamaica, we can build 1,000 houses per parish? That if we can't do that, then surely I don't see what's the sense.
Yeah.
Right? You didn't break it down, you realize how simple it is. But then you look at the big number, you think, oh wow, that's a massive number. But per parish is 1,000 houses per parish per year.
50,000 vulnerable Jamaicans are set to benefit from a $1 billion solidarity program. Labour and Social Security Minister Colonel Charles Jr. says $20,000 grants, cash grants, as well as additional support will soon be made available. Daniela McLaughlin reports.
Speaking at the launch of the new Social Security Services program, Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says vulnerable Jamaicans will be receiving a cash grant of $20,000. This, according to the minister, will strengthen empowerment and inclusivity.
50,000 Jamaicans who are vulnerable who will receive this support in the form of this one-off cash grant of $20,000, a step towards real empowerment and inclusion.
The program is also meant to provide opportunity for the beneficiaries in the areas of education and employment through the ministry's public and private sector partnerships. Beneficiaries can access training programs at the Heart Trust facility.
So it is a cash grant coupled with a sustainable support, whether it is to put you into Heart, to register you for NIS, to get you into a program with one of our private sector partners. Our intention is to bring all of Jamaica